And Viper's Ashe, Viper's first champion back on Korean soil here. It's been so many long years. I told everyone the one thing I want from the offseason is I want Viper to come back to Korea. I got my wish.
Yeah, you did have to trade
I did.
some other players. But yeah, their ability to just run around team fight is going to be really, really fun. I say team fights. What I really mean is just run really fast and kind of chip away at them. Straight up 5v5s goes. For now, they're just trading almost exactly evenly. Viper definitely having a rough time with this harass. I mean, they do have a decent amount of harass themselves, but not quite the same amount that Avaris, who's hitting all of his stuff with this early item, can do.
Big smites.
To get the bonus effects as well, as here's Willer. Faker going to totally miss, as Willer is not going to miss. Does a bit of damage, but Chovy doesn't even have to flash. So because Faker kind of goes in there and whiffs early, there's not too much of a threat onto Chovy.
Yeah, barrel shows, so there's an opportunity here. Bottom side.
Ooh.
Oh, chains. If those land, Viper is, at the very least, would have had to flash there to avoid if they were in range. Yeah.
I don't know. Not about that life.
I don't discriminate against Delashers, but I do suggest.
How about teleporters?
Okay, hold on. Cuz ulting.
Oh, here we go. Dudu is going to ult away, but he is still going to get rooted. But, you know, just Cassante is going to go a million miles down the lane and say no. And that's essentially what he does. Going to be totally safe here.
His dash lets him be unstoppable, so he has a pretty decent escape from a lot of ganks like this.
Yeah. He also already has Iceborne Gauntlet, by the way. This is now Iceborne Gauntlet.
Yep.
Very much like what Iceborne Gauntlet used to be. Ooh, maybe a little rusty here for the old man in the mid lane. As Dudu, he is going to dash once again, does not have his ultimate available, but now he's getting dove under the turret, but he is so tanky as that arrow's just going to sail wide. Morgan taking way too much damage and hit away, but Faker is not going to miss this time around, and he should have been able to sweep them up, but Chovy at least going to trade one back somehow under the turret, and Maokai is just so unbelievably tanky that it took forever for them to kill him.
24-minute mark to have that fully stacked and to get the extra level. It's a pretty nice timing to have this one. Just like old League of Legends, you want to build that as soon as possible.
Oh.
Barrel! Where is he coming from?
Where did he come from? Oh, man. Okay, well, this guy's dead. Poor Deft. Viper doing a good job of baiting that with his heal. Didn't even have to flash. Yep, that's also a thing in the bottom lane here. As, okay, maybe going to try for a bit of a dive down on the bottom side. The arrow to be used as well as the flash. Barrel going to try to eat the root, but they both get hit, and now they're both just totally destroyed here. Viper also going to go down. Very nice play from the side of Team Deft to get down on the bottom lane and take the summoners and the kills.
Cuz, speaking of ults, looking for a trap on the Viper.
He's trying to get in there. Viper is going to be rooted up. This guy is totally gone. He does not have flash. He does not have his support. Not that that would have helped, I don't even think, because the Maokai would have sailed under that stun. So Viper going to be caught out in the mid lane.
Yeah, heal expended, just hoping he can get past that Maokai ult. Not the first time we've seen the near escape when Cuz decides to engage, but he's not able to make it happen at this time. Matudu really wants to try to take Morgan out here, trying to bait him into this engage with Willer with his ult back up.
Yeah. It's one thing to mention. I don't think we mentioned this, but of course, with all the melee tops, it feels like Sejuani just goes up in value even that much more.
She's got the speed boost from the brush as well.
Oh, no. Morgan totally baited out here. The riposte not going to work out well for him. He is just gone. The damage way too much. And Cuz was like kind of there, but by the time he was already caught out, Cuz and probably Morgan himself knew that he was not in a good spot. As the knockup also coming in here. Cuz gonna be slowed up. In they go. Kind of missed there, but in comes the flash from the side of Willer. And he's looking to chase down Cuz. The knockback and the ultimate used. As the whip going to hit, and the arrow comes in, but it gets over the wall.
The plant buffer.
Gotta love the plants. Yeah. Not gonna let this third one go.
I mean, 2-item Faker here with Void Staff and Leandrius. This is definitely a good team fight for them if they can extend it out.
Yeah.
They have so many great engage options too, so if Deft gets caught, that's basically the end of the story. Same with Chovy.
This poke isn't really hitting, and Viper's able to get in there and push out the mid wave. The arrow is going to sail totally right down the middle and not hit anything. As here comes the ult onto Cuz, but they're not committing. They want to turn onto Morgan. Here comes the Maokai ult, as they will just try to burst down the strength. They should be able to get it. No smite steal here for the side of Team Faker.
You're kind of caught this Team Faker there after that.
And they say, okay, well, let's just do the Baron. I mean, they have a bunch of turrets. They have an Ashe as well. It's a lot of damage coming in, but Vision given over to the side of Team Deft as the knockup. Dude is doing such a good job of keeping Cuz out of the pit. That is going to be Baron on the side of TF, as now in goes Baker, but he's all alone and immediately gets stunned. Trying to go for the TikTok highlight, but unfortunately, he is going to be put in the bin instead.
In this case, he's going to get a lot of value in the experience and the base stats, but he's already got what he wants in terms of his skills. Is Morgan?
Okay, that's an insane amount of damage. Chovy just flashing on top of Viper, his former teammate. He's like, yo, what's good? Welcome back. In goes Baker. He's got a nice one. Gets reposted again, and the damage not quite there. They finally are able to kill Deft. As now they're trying to play the long game. They're trying to use that sustained damage, but Chovy is such a monster right now that I'm not sure that you really can. Some really nice poke on the side of Team Faker, but as you can see, they're not quite able to match the damage here from Chovy. Dudu's still trying to land that knock-up. Not going to be able to, though. Yeah, absolutely. And you see that we have seen a little bit of split pushing from Morgan, and certainly Fiora can still be an insane menace in the side lane, but Morgan just showing off some of what the Fiora can do in team fights as well. And with some of the new itemization, you know, you can kind of be anywhere. As Faker now, speaking of anywhere, he was about to get reposted for the third time by Morgan. He's getting dunked by Morgan in this game. As Peter, you know, he's in a lot of trouble here. He's not dying somehow.
He survives a long time here.
Actually immortal. Just karma things, I guess, as now he's going to get another speed up here. He is going away, trying to avoid the Naga, but eventually just dies anyway.
Yeah, they don't commit to try to trap Dudu there and kill him. We'll just die in the trade. But yeah, I was literally going to make the joke. Faker's like, I've had enough of these riposte stuns. I'm going to buy a stopwatch. And then he has to use the stopwatch because of it. Yeah. Moments later when he's found and caught on Gromp. Speaking of side pushing, side laning here, Chovy hits level 18 and takes out an inner turret.
It's 26 minutes into the game.
319 CS, something Rise Hack. Chovy Rise Hack, 320 CS. Yeah.
Jonah Strong is back. 2023, by the way, guys, so you'll get more zoom-ins like that. Yeah, and it's the Varus who is so consistent in the poke damage, but Chovy is actually just a moving machine gun. Not to mention, you know, as I talked about when we first saw the Rise, the Rod of Ages, it gives you that speed up, that little bit of oomph behind everything else, you know, not to mention the extra level, not to mention the stats that you get from it. He's just flashing in. Look at Barrel's health bar. It's nearly gone, and he's so tanky. Did he go too far is the question, as Deft is going to snipe Barrel from downtown, but huge stunts coming in from the side of Team Faker, and they will put two of them in the dumpster. They turn this one around. Chovy this time overestimating his power. They also didn't even have Morgan, who's in the bottom lane, still being very annoying.
I think the idea here is, look, we've got a lot of ways to slow Team Faker down. We engage here, we get a pick, we can disengage, buy a ton of time. This should be inhib. Even with Dudu coming over, Morgan should be able to kite this one out. Has Ghost as well. But you're going to lose a Baron for this. Definitely an overextension. But it's not all bad for Team Deft. I mean, there's still 3,000 gold ahead. They will give over a lot of that Baron gold too. But they're still in firm control of this game. Could have been better. Going to push it down to about 130 of real active time. They can 4-1 this a little bit and keep the Fiora back. Force Morgan to defend. There's no, split push win condition at this moment in time to kill the Nexus.
Ult is out. It is an immense amount of damage onto Deft already. The shields are good.
So much peel for him, though. He doesn't actually have to worry. He doesn't have to expend his flash. His cleanse is coming back up. He does take a ton of damage.
But now Chovy this time, he's not going to flash in because, of course, he doesn't have flash. But he can just walk at them and be a little bit less aggressive in that case. As the arrow, everything onto Cuz. He eats so much of the damage. And that's actually really good for the side of Team Deft. As in goes Baker, he's going to hit two of them. Just a crazy amount of damage to Peter, but it's not a great follow-up.
Yeah, no follow-up on the Maokai ult here either.
Space, I suppose, gets his team positioning now. Chovy pretty low, in goes Cut, and he steals it away with the flash smite. And these smites, man.
His smite just came up. He used it on the Scuttle. Morgan's trying to win the game, meanwhile. So Dudu isn't here. That's one of their best tools here in this fight. He's not here.
Yeah, and they kind of forcing them into a fight as well. They don't want them to go back and deal with the Fiora, as now Fiora, here comes Morgan. He's level 18 too. He's looking for the big wraparound here. He is going to be spotted, but I'm not sure that that matters. He is a little bit ahead of his team, but he's still looking to get this angle onto Faker and Beryl specifically, as over the wall he goes.
He's got Grand Challenge too. I mean, he is going to rip somebody to shreds.
It's kind of difficult for him to go in 1v4, though. He really needs his team to back him up, and it looks like they're not quite able to get into position in time, not a position they wanted at least to take the fight. Yeah. So they need to see it, as now he's going to lead the charge into this one as he's trying to get into the pit. He does not have flash, and it is going to go the way of Team Faker. Dudu in the back line just doing so much work on the feeder, but he doesn't quite want to go in all alone, and the threats on the side of Team Deft are insane. They're looking to move in, Deft over the top. We're going to get that damage on the Viper, not quite able to land it. Cuz still looking to lead the charge, but he's taken huge chunks now from Faker, and he is the one that has to run away now. That tank not quite so tanky against that very fed Azir.
With another Baron buff, they're really starting to close the doors here on Team Deft split push win condition with no inhibitor down. Look at Morgan, he has no TP, he's just looking for a flank angle here to try to punish, try to catch Beryl, maybe Viper on the backside, but there's a lot of peel for him. Faker sitting on sums too.
Okay, here we go. This is one way to get straight in your opponent's face as they're just going to rise ult in, and they're going to find Beryl on the backside. Down he goes immediately. They get in range, and they're able to burst them insanely. Here's the knockback now onto Viper. He is in huge trouble, and this is exactly the team fight that Team Def were looking for. As down should go Dudu. Well, he is Cassante, so he's just going to get away, I suppose. Maybe.
Trying to push mid in the meanwhile.
The flash is going to come in. Faker going to miss that one. Stopwatch comes out anyway. Who's going to win this? Faker flashing the Q. He does an insane amount to Chovy. Forces him away and continues the push.
But the base is open. I don't think Faker could defend this. He's not back.
They have to back.
He's so late on it.
Are there any minions there? Oh, it doesn't look like there are.
Nope.
That's actually going to help here. Is it enough, though, is the question. As Morgan gets in, tries to zone away Faker, and they should have enough here now. As Sejuani goes down, Willer not enough. And the Nexus will be taken here by Team Deft in game number 1.
We could just barely sneak this one out potentially. Yes, they were a little bit punished with some of those takes, but the idea was definitely good. Look at Faker also topping the damage charts more than a Lethality Varus, who had a pretty nice lead in the early game. Faker does 36.5k damage with that Leandri's with the...
And
Lulu is fantastic in this comp, even though it doesn't scream, you know, the strongest lane ever. We've seen it a lot. We've also seen the power of Wukong's double knock-up with an additional knock-up, Aatrox engaging with a knock-up potential, living even longer, and the ability for Beryl to save Viper in team fights if that hard engage is there with the Vi, with the Renekton. On the other side of things, lots of ways to get on top of that series.
And here we are. No fan chants for Team Deft or Team Faker. I'm actually a little bit surprised. We have a lot of fans here in the audience.
Wait. This is a hard laning phase for an early colleague. Willer's going to try to punish.
He's going to get the slow with the Q. Chovy might be forced to flash over the wall. Willer could have decided to chase, but they had no real vision over there and might not have been able to get in range as he had already used his gap closer. Either way, a nice gank here.
How a lot more junglers are viable. He knows Cuz just walk away. So he's going to run into Willer.
He was revealed. They knew where he was.
That's really bizarre.
And he was just walking towards the enemy jungle. What?
Well, I think Willer does flash with this one, but he messes it up.
You don't even counter jungle. It's not a thing anymore. Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to get position on the Scuttle Crab just got owned.
Willer really wanted to hold the flash and decided to go for it in the end. Flashed a little bit wrong, but it doesn't matter. Still has, of course, that E to get on top of him. Yeah, a little bit of greed, a lot of punish.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he was revealed really was the big difference maker, right? Because if he wasn't, well, these guys might just be dead. Here's Willer with double buff. The flash polymorph trying to divide that, but Peter with the huge handshake is going to keep them both alive. That is massive, as now Deft is just going to chase them down. Has to be a little bit careful. He's got Cuz nearby who will just smite the cannon and help push this one away.
Yeah, that was a very tense and scary moment there, but great.
But here they are. Not all the time. Really nice setup from Cuz. He's going to land this one 100-0 to this dude who doesn't even get to flash away. The poor guy. And yeah, that is the power of Vi, alongside of Renekton's insane gank assist.
Well, the great gravity field from Chovy as well, blocking Willer from coming over to make any sort of impact. By the time he's here, it's too late. Faker has ult, of course, and a decent health pool, but there's nothing they could do here anymore. A turret plate.
Oh, flash available for Chovy, but I'm not sure it's going to get him out of here. A lot of damage onto Willer, but it's nicely calculated. Faker even given the kill. That is nicely set up. Maybe assuming that Willer had gone back. So they're going to feel pretty good about that. Pretty even game from where we stand.
Yeah, Viper and Barrel did pick up that plate bottom side too. That was happening.
Man,
Peter wants to be aggressive. I don't know about this.
This is just maybe a little bit too much. Bait is so huge. And that is a pretty huge Zeri, who is just going to do Zeri things and say, you know what, actually, yeah, I'm not feeling this fight. Let me just get out of here.
You know,
with a basic ability.
I think 6 months ago, that's probably a kill for Zeri, but not on patch 13.1. I think we can all just put a sigh of relief that it's not Perma Zeri anymore.
If that weren't Zeri, probably would have had to flash away from that one. But Chovy, he's got one job. That's to farm and to get Radavivus. So here we go, going in with that Dominus. Morgan really trying to bring this top lane into his favor. Dudu does get some nice movement, but he gets too close once again. And Morgan's like, oh man, you made a mistake. Let me just kill you right here.
We've mentioned it a few times that former teammates, right? Morgan understanding Dudu's tendencies, I think, very well here. Blocks, or not blocks, but avoids both of those knockups extremely well. Flashless, and Dudu goes down.
Flash, and he does a good job here of avoiding Cuz. Peter here as well, of course, because Peter has kind of gone insane in this game. Not sure what's going on with him, but either way, he's here for the push with this Rift Herald, trying to do a bit of extra damage to the mid turrets. Note that the Rift Herald doesn't do always 2 plates worth of damage anymore.
Yeah.
You're just not going to get 2 free turret plates all the time anymore. You gotta do a little bit more damage.
All right, first Q hits, second one misses, and he's like, all right, I'm going in. Dashes through the third Q, gets the stun, has the ult. Flash comes through, steps down, avoids the first one, goes inside the second to guarantee the kill. Well,
it's a bit of trading back and forth here.
Not as greedy for that ward as Faker was moments ago. And they really want to push this turret down, but it's not going to be off this wave. Or is it? Just barely.
Only Deft is here, so he actually can't stand up. And look at this, Cuz also just going to go into the river, assuming he's safe, just gets once again comboed down by Willer. As now Faker, there is Peter nearby, and no ultimate anymore for the level 11 Akali. And now Faker all of a sudden is 2-0.
Rift.
And take a look at this. In the 1v1 in the long lane, the Akali is going to have a lot of fun. That was a decent amount of storm damage here from the Chovy. The Q is going to miss from Faker, but can he run him down is the question the Shuriken will miss.
That one minion's such a bro right there.
Yeah. This charge will happen. Look at Faker's flank positioning here. He's able to get into that back line. Deft in a lot of trouble. He has to flash, and he's getting some good autos down. And he is going to be put into the possible takedown, but it is not quite enough. And the Zeri has so much room to pop off in this fight. As Morgan and Chovy, monsters on their own right, but nothing compared to Zeri.
Yeah, they get the mid turret, but it's going to be a trade of kills here, and one that almost didn't go into Team Deft's way. Like, they almost just lost one as Dudu's looking for angle.
The polymorph is huge. Is it enough to save Viper's life is the question. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Chovy is able to get in there. Doesn't even have to flash to secure that kill.
Well, this is a huge change here in this game. Chovy looking to come over here and contest this Drake, but he's alone.
He's
crazy, but he wants it.
Yeah, not quite enough. It's a big smite.
That's huge, because if they lose all of that and then don't get the dragon.
Well, Deft is dead again.
Yeah.
So, looks like he was just top, and Faker was like, huh, you can't be here alone. That's weird. And then he killed him. So that's my analysis of the situation.
I don't know if there's much more to say, but we'll watch the replay and see if there's any more details.
Yeah, it looks like the same might happen here to Dudu. He does have a lot of help, though, coming down. Morgan, this is a long fight that you got yourself into, and it might come back to bite you. Teleport has to be used to try to save him, as the value coming out right now from this Renekton is insane. Same as the polymorph, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure that Chovy can really do much in terms of damage here on a barrel. He's desperately trying to get the kill, and he does, but just the one. As that will, in the end, be a win to the side of Team Faker.
Yeah, Willer up here going to be forced to ult. See if he wants to push this further. He can get the second knock-up.
Cuz wasn't able to dash away. Now he has to flash, and in he comes, smacks him over the head.
Really unfortunate. This is a replay of Deft farming here, solo against Faker. No defense. Notice Cuz and Peter are trying to block the rest of the rotations of the members over, but he ends up losing the 1v1 because they're a bit too far away. Morgan in this extended fight does some serious work, as you pointed out. Look at that massive heal. Still just not enough. Chovy flashes here looking for the kill on the Viper, but he gets away, and that's the big problem. If he kills Viper here, this fight could be a completely different story, especially with the bailout. Just not to be the case. Viper avoids the last part of that Victor ult and will survive. And then, yeah, Cuz opts into this double knock-up in basically full duration of these swings.
Yeah. He ate about 100% of the damage that he could have taken. Morgan's still sitting on the throne, though, and maybe they didn't back away far enough. Dudu is going to have to get the wild growth on top of him. The Zeri damage trade back is not so great. This Faker, he's got that backline access. They're trying to kill Peter, but the hostile takeover comes through. It's not a huge amount of utility, but they might be able to get on top of Faker. No, they can't quite take him down. And Morgan's the first one to be taken out here, as now Team Faker can just fight front to back. They've got this Zeri. Everybody kind of knows the way this one is going to go, as the rest of the members here at Team Deft will fall like dominoes.
Deft hands off the keyboard 3 times. His cash-in has been denied. No value with this Draven pick in terms of getting that big boost you'd like to get in early mid. Peter?
Oh no. This is just bullying now. As down he goes, Faker will collect the free kill. And even a teleport from Chovy as well. Just a little bit of bonus action, essentially. And there's not much luck here for Team Deft in
Look
terms
at Faker
of trying to get into this pit.
He's got the angle, he sweeps it.
Yeah.
And they can just pull the Drake out. He can threaten this backline if Morgan's on the other side.
Maybe a stun here, maybe a one-shot potential. Can they 100-0 Faker? No, they can't! He will live on the backside of it, and Deft immediately goes down. That's the end of this one. As the Infernal Soul also taken to add insult to injury. We will be going to a Game 3.
That's going to be the end of it, as you say. And Faker's on the edge there. If you collapse onto Faker, it means Zeri is going to be able to have free reign. But if Faker gets perfectly wild growth and every single resource is put into Faker, the rest of the team fight's a wash here for Team Deft. And as you said, we are going to Game 3. No questions asked here at the end of this fight as these double cannon Baron buff minions come through.
Not a lot of Fiora action in this one. Viper does flash and say, by the way, I'm Zeri. And they do have to wait for some minions. Okay, it looks like they will actually back for now, as we do have teleport available for Dudu.
Yeah, you should be able to just come straight back in, save the cannon minion. It's unfortunately not in range.
Like, they could push the envelope if they wanted to, but it looks like they don't quite want to. They're going to play it extremely safe.
It's a bit early in the season since it hasn't started yet for a this game is over moment, but even though you just don't have a whole lot of room to work with here.
Any Victor wave clear believers? Okay, that's a nice handshake. I'm not sure it's going to matter, though, as the hostile takeover is going to sail wide. Doesn't need a lot of value there. As Faker just goes in, goes out, and now the Zeri ult is popped. They do get into that back line, as Viper did take about half his health and damage. So that is just about as far as he'll go, as everybody else is going to be wiped off the plate, as Viper will go down, funnily enough, but that will be the Nexus going down as well. A pretty one-sided one this time in favor of Team Faker. That is the one that we have not yet seen.
It's kind of deceptive how much damage this build can do on the Victor, but a lot of this damage is put into Dudu, put into Faker, who nearly dies but escapes, put into Willer, right? And Chovy has so many threats and get on top of him. Deft has so many D+ Kia members in this tournament.
Good catch.
Outside of Deft, so Showmaker was often the one to challenge Faker with the Kassadin pick. We've seen it go both ways, actually, in that matchup over the last 2 years. Going to be Chovy this time around.
On how well he can get through the lane and how much of a late game threat he can be, as is always the case asset in team comps, but especially with what he's got around him. As let's go into this one. Faker's back on TF. He has gone Cull.
Frog battle.
Yeah, they gotta like drop. They gotta drop their weapons and just. Just begins.
Moss Stomper wants to fight.
Barrel is he's just doing barrel things. I mean, this is what the Leona is meant to do. Oh.
Clips is pretty strong to commit the heal.
Peter's getting pretty low, and Viper going for the auto. He's gonna get aggro here as maybe a trade back, but yes, Deft will be able to get that trade back. And at the end of the day, this is a good trade for Team Deft and for Deft himself.
Flashes for it. He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Double kill for the Kaisa.
Yeah, and that cleanse from Deft guarantees the Barrel's reliant on getting that stun to make sure Viper gets out. He flashed forward. Viper, and I think we can still give him credit for that, does end up getting punished here as they commit the heal forward. Flashes for this, gets the kill, and then this is the moment where he flashes for the stun, but it's instantly cleansed. And then he gets the full stack of passives here with his autos, flashes, gets the double.
Yeah, and you know what happens next. And now Viper doesn't have flash. He is Ezreal, but let's see if he can even get close to the wall. The answer is going to be no. Perfect time from Cuz. I mean, that is just pristine. Right when it's pushing in, they can even freeze it here if they want. Gold. As now they're trying to move up to the top side here. We do have Meganar about to spawn, and no flash right now for Dudu. He's in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to try to somehow weasel his way out of this one. He's going the opposite way as, okay, he's not going to get hit by the dredge line, but it does not quite matter as can't run away forever. Not against those champions. Yeah, just farming it out. And Viego, another one of those annoying champions for Glenn, which is really can't get away from it. As here we go, we do have the TF up on the top side. Now it's going to be Morgan in trouble. Still no flash. He is able to get Willer back there, but it does not matter, as he will be made quick work of. Nice trade back in the top lane.
Willer using that Lee Sin Brain, you know, get the execute damage there.
Here for the side of Team Deft outside of the bottom lane, as in goes Deft. Trying to make quick work of the bottom lane. Able to get the flash out of an Ezreal is always pretty nice. As now Barrel in a little bit of trouble. There's not much help, but TP is coming in from the side of Team Faker as the X flash over the wall. And now they re-engage, and now everybody from the side of Team Faker's coming in. As Toby's looking for the shutdown in that back line, but he just doesn't have any damage. He will eventually pick it up, and the Kaisa Deft just pick up another one.
And then in the mid lane, right, like, or rather with the Herald in mid, trying to take out the turret. Okay, Morgan.
He does have flash. He's not even going to bother using it. He knows he's dead. No hope for him.
To teleport to. Dudu can teleport flank.
Dudu?
Not if he dies.
Okay, I mean, he is a Gwen, but he is... I don't even know what to say. Like, he is miles down the lane. That is way too far.
This might just be impossible to recover from at this stage.
Yeah, that was definitely a pretty large mistake. And, you know,
trap these side laners. I mean, it just becomes so easy. Speaking of trapping.
Yeah, this is what this composition can do. They can collapse so quickly. Deft pretty far forward. This would be a shutdown. He goes into the cleanse, but it's not quite enough. That was incredibly deep for the side of Team Deft. And yes, they got the kill, but that is a massive sack of gold now into the hands of Faker with the shutdown.
This will save the turret here for Team Faker. Luckily for Deft's squad, the Drake is 3 minutes away still, so there's a lot of time to set up and prepare for that. And Toby can just go straight back into side lane.
Little opportunity here. This miss is going to help him out, actually, as nice amount of Viper damage will come through, but is it enough is the question. The answer is no. Toby is already getting in there and popping off. He just flashes back. He knows he's not going to need that. He's about to hit level 16, as that's a couple of kills now.
In about 5 seconds here, we're going to hit that rod timing. There it is.
There it is.
Boom, 16. The clock has reached doomsday.
Here comes Toby. He's just fearless. He's got to be a little bit careful. There's a lot of lockdown, but again, he has that stopwatch, and he's already done a nice amount of poke damage already. As here comes
Peter on the flank.
Nice buffer on that dredge line. Got to be a little bit careful. He's going to take the gate here to come back to the team. Probably a good idea. No need to take risks. You are in such a comfortable spot here as Team Deft.
Deft just going to clear this wave, and he can start to put some pressure on this turret. Going to take it out.
He's in the pit, and then he's out of the pit.
And so much mana, it doesn't matter that his ult costs a lot of it.
Yeah. Better. Trying to do that extra damage as in goes Beryl. They're trying to get the Wombo combo. Nice ultimate from Viper, but it's kind of... It just doesn't match the damage right now on the side here at Team Deft. Now, a decent amount of poke damage has gone down onto these members, but already it is 5v4 with Beryl going down.
Yeah, this is the scary part. Jovi.
Okay. Stun, in goes Deft as he is going to go invisible. They're trying to lock him down. The kick over the wall right into Viper. Not going to help him out at all as trying to teleport away, I believe, was Faker. And he is not going to get out of here either. That is going to be the X-Tech Soul. And that might just be game. I mean, they are so far ahead.
Quite a lot of boom boom.
And yeah, X-Tech Soul, Team Deft. Okay, trying to get on top of Deft himself.
I don't know if you want to be on top of Deft right now.
Yeah, Chovy just getting on in there as he does have Zhonya's now, and that is just going to open up this fight. Everybody's just going to be thrown into the bin, as that should be it. In comes Dudu. He's like, oh God, what happened here? The room's on fire. I've got pizza, but that's not going to feel too good. That is a clean sweep, and Team Deft will take this best of 3.
This time they got minions. There's no Victor walking out of the base this time around. Deft gonna stopwatch here as the minions approach. They can clear these turrets. Death timer is super long, and looks like Deft has done it again. Defeated Faker one more time in another series here before the spring season starts. And Deft and crew are gonna get a set of emotes. So this is the
right after this.
It's pretty crazy, the spread of player age that we have in this show match, right? You have players like Faker, right? Viper, Deft, right? And then you have